Sagittarius, there is someone thinking about you, right now. Not a stranger, but the person you once prayed would understand your heart, and they didn't. And then they disappeared. But today, something strange is unfolding in your Sagittarius birth chart. An unexpected message, a new stream of energy, and a heart awakened by the universe is being led back to you. Not to try again, but to love you the right way, every day. And if you are ready to receive that, write in the comments below this video, "I am ready to open my heart to receive divine love." This isn't just a sentence, it's a signal you send to the universe. Because in this video, I'm going to show you what's about to change in Sagittarius's life, in a way no one saw coming. So then, what is happening in the stars that is drawing someone back toward Sagittarius with a heart no longer the same? Come with me to the place where the stars begin to reveal their secrets. There are moments in life when you don't need anyone to say anything more. You just need a little stillness and a chance to look back at the path you've taken. If you are Sagittarius, then maybe you've spent your youth chasing a feeling you thought was love. But one day, you realized you were loving from loneliness, not from freedom. And now, as Jupiter, your ruling planet, enters a cycle of emotional awakening, the universe is asking you something quiet but powerful. Are you still living as a smaller version of yourself, just to avoid losing someone? This isn't a rhetorical question, because right now, Jupiter is sitting in a special corner of the chart, touching the deepest places of the Sagittarius heart, places you once closed off to protect yourself from old wounds. But healing never comes through hiding. It only arrives when you choose to face it. At the same time, Venus, the planet of love, attraction, and self-worth, is moving through a fire sign that harmonizes with Sagittarius. And it's making your energy impossible to ignore. But this isn't surface-level attraction. It's not about the way you look or how charming your words sound. It's a magnetic field from within that forms when you truly know who you are and you are no longer willing to shrink for anyone. I've always believed Sagittarius doesn't need anyone to complete them, because your essence is freedom. But not everyone understands that freedom. Some think you're inconsistent. Some think you're afraid of commitment. But only you know the truth. You're not afraid to commit. You're afraid of being loved wrong. Love is not the place where you must make yourself small, just so someone else can feel big. And when you stop chasing, when you begin to stand still in your true light, love will come on its own. Because true light always has its own gravity. Divine love isn't something you chase, it's something you attract, when you no longer rush to prove anything to anyone. There was a Sagittarius woman who once told me, "I did everything to keep someone from leaving, except one thing, keeping myself." And you know what? The day she stopped trying to be someone else, the person who left came back. But this time, she had changed. She no longer needed him, but she could still love him if he proved worthy. Astrology doesn't tell you exactly what will happen. It shows you which gates are opening, and you must decide if you are mature enough to walk through them. Right now, with the harmonious trine between Jupiter and Venus, this is a sacred window for Sagittarius to attract new soul-aligned relationships, reconnect with someone who once mattered deeply but came at the wrong time, or see clearly who is no longer meant to walk with you. If you've ever had to shrink your light just to fit into someone else's heart, leave a comment below this video. I no longer love out of fear. I deserve a love that is true. Because when you write that down, your soul will know you are finally ready. And don't forget, what's happening now is not a coincidence. If you feel these words touching something inside you, please like this video and share it with someone who might need this message more than you realize. No pain repeats itself once the lesson is learned, and no one can hurt you again once you've learned how to love yourself first. So with all these currents of energy now gathering around you, who is being led back toward Sagittarius? Is it someone new, or is it someone old but with a new heart? Next, we'll take a look at the birth chart and uncover, is the love you truly deserve coming closer than you ever imagined? There's a kind of love that isn't loud, isn't forced, doesn't need a name. It just exists, silently turning the wheel of fate, moment by moment, until it finally brings two people back to each other. If you're listening to this part, maybe you once let someone go, not because you didn't love them, but because you chose to love yourself more. And now, as the axis between Sagittarius and Gemini is being lit up by a rare astrological alignment, the universe is gently asking, can you forgive them if they've truly changed? And more importantly, are you still the same person who once forgave just to be loved again? From an astrological perspective, when this axis is activated, it often awakens a very deep kind of connection. Not the kind of love that stays forever, but the kind that comes to wake you up, to help you see clearly who loves you for who you truly are, and who only loved the feeling of controlling you. I believe some people leave you not because you were wrong, but because they weren't big enough to walk beside your light. Sagittarius is light, and not everyone can handle the intensity of that truth. Some people see you and shrink back, not because of who you are, but because your light reflects something in them they're not ready to face. If someone wants to return, let them come back, not because you're lonely, but because they now choose to see you with a different heart. You don't owe anyone a second chance. The only thing you owe yourself is this promise: never betray your own light, just to hold on to someone else's shadow. And if you're still here, still listening, I know your heart may have once been broken by someone who promised they never would. Maybe you've sat alone in the dark, hand over your chest, asking, what did I do wrong? But dear Sagittarius, you did nothing wrong. You just loved too honestly, in a world that's often afraid of the truth. Sometimes, the person who hurt you the most is the very soul your spirit recognized first. You write in the comments, if you once loved someone so much you lost yourself in the process, but today, you've come back to yourself. Then write in the comments, I've returned to my true light. This isn't just a declaration. It's the doorway into a new chapter, lighter, truer, and more whole. When Gemini and Sagittarius stand across from one another, that's when heart and mind finally come back into balance. You don't love blindly anymore. You love with awareness. You don't wait for someone else to make you feel enough. You become enough, and then attract those who see it. Someone is being led toward you. The universe is quietly sending them signals, through dreams, through a song they hear again, through a photo that flashes by unexpectedly. And the strange thing is, they think of you, no longer with the feeling of loss, but with the desire to make things right, this time. If you feel these words are touching something inside you, share this video with someone you once loved or who once loved you, but the timing was never right, because maybe you are the message the universe is trying to send them. So if that person is being led back toward you, what is it that makes you irreplaceable in their eyes? Let's uncover the strange magic happening right now in Sagittarius's energy. A frequency rising from your heart, one that makes it impossible for someone to look away. There are souls who don't try to impress. They simply show up, and the world falls silent to listen. You, Sagittarius, are one of those souls. Not because you try to be interesting, but because you live truthfully. And in this moment, as the full moon and key energetic points move through the fifth house, the zone of creativity, romance, and magnetic expression, you're radiating a new frequency, a field no one can pretend not to feel. You're no longer the one trying to be loved. You are now the one who inspires others to learn how to love right. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to pretend to be sweet. You don't need to shrink to fit. Because true magnetism doesn't come from your looks, your voice, or your charm. It comes from a soul brave enough to live in truth without asking permission. Astrologically, this is a wave of inner alignment, lifting you, making you glow effortlessly. People aren't drawn to you because you're perfect. They're drawn to you because you believe too easily, you laugh too freely, you've been hurt deeply, and yet you still dare to love again. Someone who truly loves you won't just love your confident, fiery, passionate self. They'll look into the part you've kept hidden, the tired part, the wounded part, the part that once wanted to give up, and they'll hold it all as something sacred. You were the one who always said, "I'm fine," but deep inside was a quiet longing for someone to see you even when you were trying to hide. And now, something strange is happening. That person may already be picking up your frequency. They don't know why, they just know when they think of you, they can't think of anyone else instead of who you truly are. If you've ever felt like you were loved the wrong way, if someone loved who they thought you were instead of who you truly are, then today you get to choose again. You don't have to wait for an apology. You just have to say to yourself, "I deserve to be loved right." Write it in the comments as a soft yet powerful declaration to the universe. And if this part touched a truth you've kept quietly in your heart, share this video, because maybe it's awakening someone you once lost. True attraction isn't about making people unable to look away. It's about this: even when you walk away, they still can't stop thinking about you. And what makes you irreplaceable isn't that you're prettier, but that you made them feel seen without judgment. So if your light is finally ready to shine, if your heart is humming with a new frequency, then the question is no longer, who is coming? The question is, are you truly ready to open your heart, to receive what is worthy? Let me tell you about the doorway of destiny that's opening, and why what's about to happen could completely change how you see love forever. Have you ever felt this? Waking up one morning, and your heart feels strangely quiet. No more screaming for love, no more dreams of holding on to someone who's gone. Just a light, open silence, and one soft question whispering inside you, could it be I've finally forgiven? That is the moment the universe is whispering to you. Now you are ready to walk through a new gate. As the Sun, Mercury, and Uranus shift simultaneously, a wave of energy is reaching the heart of Sagittarius, not to test you again, but to reward your quiet resilience. You may not see it as a grand event, you'll feel it in subtle signs. An unexpected meeting that stirs something deep inside you, a message from someone you thought you had forgotten, a dream where there's no pain left, only light. I don't think we ever beg for love. I think we only ever beg for truth. And when you live in truth with yourself, love finds you like a chemical reaction. It's not loud, not fireworks. It's a look, a shoulder brushing yours, a harmony you can't explain, but also can't deny. Gang, true love doesn't come from effort, not from being the one who always texts first, not from trying to prove you're enough. Love comes when two frequencies align. When you've healed, and the other has become someone new too. I once knew a Sagittarius man. He loved a woman so deeply. He gave up his passion just to keep the relationship. And then, she left, without a word. Years later, on a spiritual journey, he stood atop a sacred mountain and whispered just one sentence: "If you come back, you'll meet a different version of me. A man who no longer needs you to feel enough." Months later, she returned. But this time, he smiled and said, "I'm grateful for what we had, but I no longer need it." Because when you've truly healed, you stop trying to pull people back, and instead, you open the door for what is worthy to enter. If you've ever felt that someone appeared at the exact moment you were finally ready to love again, leave a comment. I know, the universe is sending what's meant for me. This is more than just a statement. It's a frequency response to the things already making their way toward you. Uranus has always been the planet of the unexpected, of sudden change. But when it merges with the emotional energy of the Sun and Mercury, you begin to realize coincidence is no longer random. Everything you once hurt from was only preparing you to finally be awake enough to receive what's right. When someone enters your life, and you are no longer afraid of losing them. That's when you know you are no longer loving out of fear. You're loving with awareness. If you are in this phase of your life, if you feel like something is getting closer, share this video with someone you love. Because maybe they are standing in front of a new gate, but just haven't dared to step through it. And if the universe really is bringing you into a sacred reunion, a new love, an old flame returning with a new heart, or a connection you never expected, what will you do when they appear? Let me tell you what you need to prepare when destiny touches your heart again. True love doesn't make you feel tired. It doesn't ask you to weigh every word, every text, every breath. Real love is when you can finally breathe at your own rhythm, and the other person doesn't try to adjust it. They listen. They move with it. And you know, you don't need to try anymore. You just need to live. With the 9th house activated, the house of philosophy, spirituality, and expansion, your love now is no longer something to fill a void. It's the union of two souls, growing together, seeing further, and walking toward the light, side by side. You are no longer searching for someone to hold your hand. You are calling in someone who can walk beside you to the very edge of awareness and beyond. When Sagittarius loves truly, they don't just give their heart. They give their mission. Because for Sagittarius, love isn't just an emotion. It's a journey, a revelation, a new land to explore, to learn from, to be inspired by. To love you is to enter a sky where every day they feel alive, not just existing. True love doesn't blind you. On the contrary, it helps you see more clearly, to see who you are, to see who they are, and to know, even if it all disappears one day, you won't regret a thing, because you lived with all the honesty your soul was capable of giving. I once knew a Sagittarius woman. She turned down a proposal, not because she didn't love the man, but because she knew if she stayed, she would no longer be herself. Years later, she met someone else. No grand proposal, no promises of, "I'll take care of you forever." Just a gentle sentence, "I don't want to change you. I just want to understand you more, each day." And she stayed, not because it was safe, but because finally she had found a place where she could be free and still be loved. A person who truly loves you won't ask, "How can I make you need me?" They'll ask, "How can I make sure you never have to abandon any part of yourself just to be beside me?" If you feel like you're getting closer to a love like this, a love that helps you grow, not shrink, then write in the comments, "I'm ready to be loved every day." Not just to love someone, but to love the right way, at the right time, on the right frequency. If you know someone who's about to enter a new relationship, or someone who's feeling lost inside something that doesn't have a clear name yet, send them this video. Because maybe just one sentence in here is exactly what they need to start living true to their heart again. The 9th house doesn't just speak about who you love, it speaks about who you're becoming through that love. And if you're attracting a love that expands your soul, then know this, you've stepped into a new chapter. One where there's no more control, no more fear of loss, no more constant overthinking, just presence. But dear Sagittarius, no matter how beautiful this love may be, remember this, real change never starts with someone else. It begins the moment you look in the mirror and say to yourself, "I deserve something more sacred than what I once settled for." And that is also the moment the universe sends you one last message, a message you must not ignore, because it will shape the rest of your year. Thank you for staying until the very end. Not just in this video, but in your own journey of healing. Because not everyone is brave enough to face the truth. Not everyone is strong enough to love again after being broken. But you, the Sagittarius who carries the light, you did it, and the universe sees that. If you feel this message touched your heart, like this video, leave a comment and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes, one sentence spoken today can become the light that guides someone through the darkest part of their night. And if you truly are ready to step into your next chapter, with the right love, the right person, the right divine timing, then write, I'm ready to live in my true light, not for me, but for you, and for the universe, waiting for you to rise. I am your companion on this journey, and I believe change is no longer a possibility. It is already arriving, and it is sacred. I'll see you in the next video from the heart. Thank you.